Hi guys, and welcome to another video from Twisted Dice. I'm AceFace and I'm here to bring you another Tyranid tactics video. As in my last video, which I will put a link up down there in the description, but also up there as a card, where you can see around starting your Tyranid army. This next video today is going to be about what I consider at the moment to be the best 5 Tyranid units. Now, this list is very much my opinion, and I'm always interested to hear what your opinion are. So please put down below what you consider your best 5 Tyranid units. Now, what I've decided to just give you a top 5 rather than put them in a specific order. I have got my favourites, but it very much depends on your army build, and that's really important as well. So this list is not necessarily going to be the best for every single Tyranid army. You need to consider what units fit your playstyle and your army best, because some of these units will not work in certain army builds. Now, majority of them will work in most because they are what I would consider probably our strongest choices, but that doesn't mean that they will fit every single army list and every single play style. One of the units, particularly on this list, is an amazing unit. Doesn't tend to fit my play style and my armies very much, but I still consider it one of our best choices. So that's what we're going to talk about, and we'll jump into that. But before we do, please do hit that like, hit that subscribe button. As I said, please comment, let us know what you think of these videos. And if you'd like to support us further, our Patreon service offers some amazing perks. It's a great Discord chat server as well, where loads of people are swapping different hobby stories, pictures, you name it, and we also release pretty much all our content over there early. So jump over and become a Patreon from just $1 a month to depending on how much you want to contribute. But anyway, let's jump into this video because we're 2 minutes in already. Okay, so starting off at number 5, as I said, this is not a specific order, but starting off at number 5 is the Nerf Rope. So the Nerf Rope is a very kind of unsung hero, I suppose. He makes it into a lot of lists. He's a very reasonably pointed HQ choice. He gives you the ability to have some synapse for your backfield units, which is really handy. That tends to be where he features most heavily. He's obviously has a character, so he has that character rule. He has a free up invuln, which means that even when people can get shots at him, he can quite often just palm off those shots quite simply on that free up invuln. So that makes him fairly resilient. He does only have a toughness 4, but still that free up invuln kind of makes up for it. So even when you're hitting him with something extremely hard hitting, sometimes he can just kind of flick that off. The way to kill him is always going to be with weight of shots, which is probably not what you're going to get if you're able to target him. So he's very survivable from that point. So he makes an excellent HQ choice and an excellent warlord, which is where most of the time you're probably going to put your warlord because he's super good. His psychic powers are incredibly reliable. He rerolls 1s for that psychic ability, which means that he tends to not peril very much. So again, he's not going to blow himself up that often as well. And you can add an extra relic on him from the new Blood of Baal book to make him even more reliable if you want to as well. He can also siphon wounds, and he can give them back to zoanthropes, to himself, because he has a zoanthrope keyword. It's very good, very good unit, and one that I would put in most lists myself, because he's cheap and cheerful, but also he is an incredibly versatile and really good value points to be in your army. So that's my number 5. At number 4, this one's I think it's a bit boring, but I think it has to make the list, and that's the Genestealer. The Genestealer all through 8th edition has been a star for the Tyranid army. Super quick. Tend to always see them in Kraken. Still, I think there's no real argument to put him anywhere else, but The Kraken Gene Stealer is incredibly powerful. Hits harder than a lot, pretty much most other combat units that Tyranids have. They'll strip down most units pretty quick. They're so quick, so they can apply an awful lot of pressure, even if they're not even your most star performing unit. They will just apply tons and tons of pressure. So they're great at grabbing objectives. They're such a tricksy unit. They really do look after a professional player. So the better you are, the more you can utilize the ability of the Gene Stealer. They are super strong, but they are fragile as well. So they're less forgiving for the inexperienced player. A very experienced player can utilize their speed and their stratagems super well, and really can make use of them. So they are a stunning unit, a lot of fun to play with, but not necessarily the easiest, but 100% one of our strongest units still, without a doubt. So moving into the number 3 mark on my list, and that goes to the Hive Tyrant. Really funny choice, because the Hive Tyrant pretty much at the moment is out of favour. He's not necessarily making it into a lot of lists, but as far as a unit that has so much versatility, it can be geared up for whatever type of army you choose. So if you're going for more of a full-on full-on army, and you're just going to drop in as much as possible with those wings, you have the ability to deep strike them in for free. You're not really paying much for a premium, because the wings are giving you that extra speed anyway, so you've got that there. Having a 4-up invuln makes them actually pretty tanky. Points wise, they're not too bad for points wise. They've got 2 psychic powers, which gives them that psychic ability, which gives them some versatility there. They can fight okay. Monstrous Rending Claws are still really cheap, so cheap and cheerful way to actually do quite a lot of damage. You can stack them with relics. You can make them really monstrous in combat. You can give them the Venom Cannon, which I think is very good. Some of the relic Venom Cannons are incredibly powerful as well. So they still have a huge amount of versatility. And 3 of those in a list is still a really strong thing to put in your list, 100%. You can take them on foot. I've found them very effective on foot as well, making them a little bit cheaper. Still very survivable. Adds that synapse. Adds a bit of combat prowess on the floor with your up-and-coming force. So I really like them still. I think they're still an incredibly strong unit within the Tyranid army. They don't necessarily make it into a lot of builds at the moment, but I still think when you look at what they offer to your army, they are still one of the strongest units that a Tyranid player can take. And I think as the Marine meta starts to shift as well, we'll start to see them again become stronger. Marine don't necessarily have that same killer blow all through the game, so that helps them a little bit as well. That Iron Hands doctrine that was just factoring in throughout the whole game very much killed them off a little bit, but I think now that's drifted off a little bit. That killer blow is going to go away, Weight of Fire is going to come back, Horde's going to come back, and the Hive Tyrant will start to have its day again a little bit. So I think the Hive Tyrant is still a really good unit, and definitely makes my top 5. Okay, now going into the next spot, number 4 or number 2, whichever way you want to do it. I have gone for the Exocrine. Now, he is the new daddy back on the top 5 scene. He very much was okay early doors, drifted off the scene a little bit, but his buffs that he has received through the Blood of Baal book makes the unit incredibly strong. The ability to double tack that cannon, giving it those 12 shots, but also the ability to make those hits potentially exploding is very strong. The ability to move him, so he has that more movement ability there, helps him a lot as well. So he's just a really good unit now, and one I would definitely look at. 100%. And number 1, and this is the unit probably that is maybe the strongest on paper, but I don't find fits in my lists particularly well, is the Hiveguard. They can fully double tap. They've got that magic strength 8 shots from those impaler cannons, which is always generally the choice you want to take. They have got the ability to ignore cover, which is very strong and becoming even stronger. The ability to be out of line of sight, which is huge. You know, they're fairly tough. They're not super tough, but they're fairly tough. You can stack them with some of the new abilities from the Blood and Bow to make sure that they're a little bit more resilient, which is really a good idea to do those. So maybe they ignore AP, you know, 1 and 2. That's really good. And also they can have exploding hits as well, which makes them strong. So they are a really powerful unit, and anything that's in range of a unit of Hiveguard is gonna feel it, and that's what makes them so good. They really dominate that 36-inch bubble. Anything that's within that range is in big trouble, because those boys hit incredibly hard. So cracking unit. So that's my top 5, guys. Hopefully you agree, but if you do disagree, love to hear your comments. There are some other great units, and what I will have, and later on I'll put a link below, is the unsung heroes. So the unsung top 5, which is a more interesting one really, guys, because that one will tell you some of the ones that people aren't using that actually have got a lot of play, and you probably just don't know it. So one to look forward to, guys, and if you're watching this later on, as I said, there will be a link down below. But that's my top 5. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in another video real soon. Bye for now.